Welcome to the webinar today. I first want to apologize. I have laryngitis, and so my voice sounds really horrible, but I actually feel pretty okay. So I probably won't be doing very much talking. But today I'm really excited to talk about the essential oil Intune. And with me, I have my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Stephanie Auerbach, and her and I went to school together. And she graduated last year, and she is a licensed practicing naturopathic doctor in Milwaukee, Oregon, which is just right outside of Portland. And she's at Flow Integrative Health, Flow Natural Health. So we're so lucky to have her with us today and her knowledge, and I'm very excited to get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jade Hatfield, and I am in my last year of medical school to be a natural doctor. And I have a large passion for sharing essential oil knowledge with others. And so let's get started. So first off, I just want to say this is our first of a series of product knowledge webinars. So I get really excited when people get oils and they start to use oils in their own home. But I'm also really passionate about taking that education and that knowledge base of how to use essential oils to the next level. So there will be every month a product knowledge webinar, and we'll pick an oil or a care product, and we will do this kind of based webinar where you can get on and learn a little bit more. We do have a YouTube channel. It's called Nourishing Essentials, and all of these will be posted onto the Nourishing Essentials YouTube channel. So thank you again for being here. Today we're going to be talking about Intune Blend, and the reason I chose this as my first oil, our first oil to do an educational webinar on, is because it's one of my very favorite oils, and it's one of the first oils that started to kind of change my life and really help me see how incredibly powerful these oils are. This blend was formulated for its abilities to help focus, to balance the mind, and promote calmness. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through all the essential oils in this blend and talk about not just what the blend is good for, but which each single oil in this blend is good for. We're going to address the physical part of the oil as well as the emotional side of the oil as well. So you can kind of start to understand and see how this blend formulated together creates this really powerful oil that kind of focuses on the brain and concentration pathways. So the additional uses for essential oils and this particular brand, I'll hand over to Dr. Auerbach.
So this one has been shown to have great benefits for ADD and ADHD. Mainly, it has such great anxiety and calming effects. Really helps focusing and concentration and improving clarity in the mind, brain. Um, Honing your focus if you have trouble concentrating on a single task or daydreaming. It helps with activity as well as helps decrease overall stress levels.
So there's also, really quick, we're going to go in the ways to use this oil. And also, as we scroll down, we'll talk a little bit more about why each of these oils is used this way. So one of the ways you can use this oil is to rub it on the feet of children before school to help them focus and with concentration. And you can also diffuse it in the home for calming and to help focus on tasks and homework. And you can also put it on the back of your neck, and this helps with brain fog and slow thinking. So there's been research done that the largest pores in your body are actually on the bottom of your feet. You have other large pores as well, but this is one of them. And when you apply oils to the feet, there's properties in these oils that get sucked up through your venous, the blood system. And within 30 seconds, you can have the properties of these oils in every single cell of your body. And it's important to kind of take things into perspective that the things happening on a cellular level in our body are really fast. So when you put, for example, a liver cell in your liver, what it does in 1 second would take 100 men 100 hours to do. And when you talk about bacteria in your body, some specific bacteria travel from your head to your toes in 2 seconds. So when you start to think about how quick things are working in your body, it's really incredible to think how fast these essential oils can deliver their properties and the healing benefits. It's also important to remember that essential oils are very potent, and so it's less is never more.
And you always want to remember that, especially the essential oils, very potent. So usually, 1 to 3 drops is good enough for adults. You can go up to 6 per foot. For infants and toddlers, you want to dilute 1 to 3 drops in a tablespoon of a carrier oil for, say, let's say, fractionated coconut oil. And then for older children, 1 to 3 drops per foot and 1 teaspoon of carrier oil.
And then you can also apply the oils on the back of the neck. When you apply oils on the back of the neck, what happens is it goes straight into your brain stem and it is readily absorbed up into the brain. So that's really useful as well. And then also, if there's a part of the body that you have a hard time getting to, or you're just trying to enhance the benefits of the oils, you can use reflexology points. And here you can see a foot reflexology picture. This is the bottom of the foot. You can also look up auricular points, which are on the ear, and then there's also reflex points on the hand. So there's a lot of research on reflexology, and we could probably do a whole series just on that. So this is just a simple diagram to help you understand that that is also an option.
And so, one of the body's main defense mechanisms for the brain, which is, of course, the most important organ, or one of them at least, is there's what's called the blood brain barrier. It's a very tight junction directly covering the brain and the spinal cord to prevent senses of a certain size or a certain chemical structure from entering the brain, which makes it so very difficult to deliver medicines to the brain, and it's usually the biggest task to overcome when trying to find a medicine for various disorders, finding something that the body allows access to the brain. And what this oil has a lot of, they're called cis-squiterpenes. They're a specific chemical constituent that does have the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, and this is what this oil has many of. So that's what's so good at improving cellular health within the brain itself. And other body systems that Intune really hones in on, since it can get into the brain, it can then get to the rest of the nervous system throughout the body and work its magic, along with emotional balance and hormone stabilization as well. The oil Intune consists of West Indian sandalwood, which is the only one in the blend that doTERRA does not sell individually. All other 6 oils you can get individually as well. There's patchouli, frankincense, ylang ylang, sandalwood, Roman chamomile, and lime. And if you're anything like me and aren't a huge fan of patchouli, you cannot pick up the scent very easily in this oil. I really enjoy the scent. Jade is wearing it right now.
Imagine that.
And you can barely, if at all, pick up the patchouli, and even the individual patchouli oil itself. doTERRA products are so pure that I find it doesn't have. It has a different quality. It's fresher and lighter than other patchouli oils. So the first ingredient, West Indian sandalwood, has very high levels of the cis-squiterpenes we spoke about earlier that are so good at crossing that tough to pass blood-brain barrier. It helps promote calming of brain activity, stress relief, and really helps decrease tension, both whether that be emotional, mental, or physical. Patchouli, very sedating and calming, known to decrease depression as well as fever, and also can be used as a diuretic and a bug repellent. So for these upcoming warmer spring and summer months when we're outdoors enjoying the fresh air and maybe doing some barbecuing, put some of that on if you enjoy the scent again. But it's definitely a much healthier alternative for bug repellent than spraying all those chemicals all over your body and around you. Patchouli is also known as the oil of physicality. Helps people become really fully present in their body, tempers obsessive behaviors and personalities, and it really works that way through. It really helps calm our fears and nervous tension that can play such a big role in those obsessive behaviors. Helps improve ideas of body image, which at this day and age, unfortunately, is quite a big issue. So the key emotions that patchouli helps address is body shame, just feeling overall disconnected from the body, whether physically or mentally, and tension throughout the body. Patchouli also is really good to complement if you're into yoga or qigong, tai chi, meditation and prayer, or just hiking and other outdoor activities. I'm combining those activities with the aromatic effects of patchouli can really enhance its medicinal properties. Next is frankincense, and as you can tell from this picture, it's just it's a very strong. What was the word used earlier? Tenacious oil plant.
It gives
and
strength.
beautiful strength. It has antidepressant qualities, sedating, has been seen to increase memory capabilities, reduce mental fatigue, which we all experience quite regularly, I'm sure, can focus energy and aid in concentration. So if you have a hard time just focusing on one task before going to the next, can really help with honing in your energy and your focus. Additional uses for frankincense: Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, brain injuries, hepatitis, fibroids, Parkinson's, warts, and those ever pesky wrinkles. And so frankincense is also known as the oil of truth. It really helps let go of our lower vibrations, lies, deception, any negativity we may be carrying around with us. It's a really powerful cleanser and helps just bring in the light. Um, Creates a healthy attachment to the Father and enhances spiritual practices. So this oil really addresses the emotions of any feelings of abandonment, distance from a father figure, spiritual disconnect, feeling unprotected, or any type of feelings of spiritual darkness. And lime, one of my personal favorite scents. Um, Really good for overcoming exhaustion, depression, anxiety. There's when also bacterial infections, and you'll find that with most citrus oils, they have really good antimicrobial properties. Also good for lowering fever and revitalize the skin. Is known as the oil of the zest for life. So, when an individual has been just weighed down by discouragement or grief, lime really, really reignites that zest for life, that gives us more encouragement and more motivation, instills courage and cheer in the heart, through cleansing the heart of emotional toxins. It just really helps clear that discouragement that we may get on a day-to-day basis from different avenues of life, and again with depression and any possible suicidal thoughts. So the emotions that the oil of lime really hone in on are apathy, resignation, and feelings of grief and discouragement. Ylang ylang, also a very beautiful plant, very calming and anti-anxiety properties. It's shown to, when used either topically or aromatically, can really help with both blood pressure and heart arrhythmias. Used for colic and crying, diabetes, and due to its hormone balancing effects, can help with things like low libido as well. And so ylang ylang is also known as the oil of the inner child. It's a very powerful remedy for the heart. It reconnects the individual with the child self in the pure, simple way of the heart. It reconnects us with that innocence, encourage play and fun, being lighthearted, releasing emotional trauma from our past that we tend to hold on to, even if just at a subconscious level, and allows emotional healing to flow naturally. So the emotions really addressed here with Ylang Ylang come to joylessness, overstressed, grief, sadness, loss of a loved one, and an overall disconnect from our inner child that most of us start to relate to at some point. Sandalwood, um, very, very good for focus and meditation, for different levels of confusion, uh, physical properties. It helps with dry skin and hair. Vitiligo, which is a skin condition that causes certain areas of skin hypopigmentation. So you have different patches of whiter pigmented skin. Can help with hiccups, laryngitis, exhaustion, and back pain. Sandalwood, also known as oil of sacred devotion, it assists in all kinds of prayer, or has a really good ability to calm the mind and just really prepare the spirit to receive spiritual gifts. Teaches true humility, devotion, and love for the divine. So it really helps us address emotions of feeling disconnected from our spiritual self or from God, a feeling of emptiness, overthinking, and materialism. Then there's Roman chamomile. A little interesting to me because there's chamomile, and then there's Roman chamomile, and they call this one Roman chamomile because it was found growing in the Roman Colosseum. But it's good for calming effects, hyperactivity, things such as bee stings, um, insomnia, difficulty sleeping, menopause, muscle spasms, sciatica, as well as other types of nerve pain, as well as dry skin. And Roman chamomile being the oil of spiritual purpose really encourages us um, in discovering and living our true life purposes, and helps us find purpose and meaning in our lives. Restores our confidence to just live our true purpose and follow our feelings. Camel, the guardian angel oil, leading the soul to where it's meant to be. Help us get past any walls we may have up. So it really hones in on emotions and feelings of purposelessness, just feeling discouraged, drudgery, frustration, feeling unsettled, just not really knowing where your path is really supposed to lead you in life. So Intune overall is known as the oil of presence. Just really helps calm the mind, facilitating inner peace. Is found to be most helpful for those with a short attention span, as mentioned earlier, for ADD and ADHD. Uh, just really helping encourage us to stay present with the task at hand before moving to the next activity, guiding the soul into the here and now, really honing in on those feelings of distraction and lack of physical presence or awareness, daydreaming, procrastination, like most people, and just feel an overall mental scatterness.
So that is Intune, and this is the structure of how most of these classes will go. And I just hope you can see what a beautiful oil Intune is and what a great job doTERRA did in producing this blend with all of the properties and all of the calming effect and helping you move through your life in those moments of mental exhaustion or having a hard time focusing, or even the moments of where you're feeling just really like procrastinating, and this oil helps move you. So just take a couple minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and if you have any questions, you can just type them into the question box there, and we'll just wait a minute. Okay, so no questions. That's awesome. Um, Thank you again for joining us. And I just want to again remind everybody that these videos will be posted on Nourishing Essentials. And I want to thank Dr. Auerbach for being here.
Thank you for having me, and I'll again be here for the monthly webinars we're doing for individual oils and oil blends by doTERRA. Again, my name is Dr. Stephanie Auerbach, and I practice in Milwaukee. The clinic is called Flow Natural Health Care. You can, if you want to look at the website or find more information about me or the clinic, there's other practitioners there. It's a very integrative clinic. We have, acupuncturist, massage therapist, counselor, and a couple other naturopaths as well. If you live in the area, and I also sell doTERRA oils at the practice as well.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.